Hey, I am the African witch bitch hoodoo practitioner. Hey, YouTube. I'm posting this video because I am grading a homework assignment that I gave my tea room. If you're not familiar with the tea room, it is my private Facebook group where we come in, we sip tea, and people have questions about this, that, and the third. And every now and then, myself and my admins will post pop quizzes to keep you sharp on your game in this spiritual witchy lifestyle. So a few days ago I posted a homework assignment, and the homework assignment is, what is your worst enemy as a practitioner? And a lot of my students in there answered the question, right? So I'm here to grade the question. And tell you. Now, a lot of people gave different answers. Tea roomers, listen up. This is your homework assignment being graded. A lot of people gave different answers, but a vast majority of the consensus was self and shadow self, and that was the answer I'm looking for. I wasn't looking for self. That's not actually technically correct unless your self is being controlled, ran, and dominated by shadow. If that's the case, then yeah, you are your worst enemy. But for all practical purposes, the answer to the pop quiz is shadow. Now, I know what a lot of people are thinking, especially if you're not familiar with me. This might be your first video you're watching with my face in the camera. But if you are not familiar with me, you need to know that my number one premise and my admins in the tea room, that's my own little personal coven, is self-love and bossing up in your own power. We are not the practitioner groups that do work for you or even allow you to be comfortable letting other people do your spiritual work for you. We're here to teach you how to do it yourself. In rare cases, I will do spells for other people, and that's very rare, but I will guide your ass. I'll even hold your hand step by step by step on how to do it yourself. And the reason why I do that, it's because there's no amount of money, and I've said this before, and I'm going to go ahead and say it again. There's no amount of money out there that will give me the satisfaction that I have when you come back and report to me that you did one of my spells and the shit popped like a bag of Orville Redenbacher. You feel me? So because of that, I teach you. I teach you how to fish so that you're never hungry. You don't never have to. I'm not going to feed you a plate. I rarely will I do that, but I will teach your ass how to cook and fish and shop for yourself so that you can know how to protect your wallet, protect yourself and your family from these scammers out here. So again, did the pop quiz, and the answer is shadow. And let me explain why the answer is shadow. Because the number one intent that you need for your spells to pop, the number one thing that you need, it's not the most fancy ingredients. It's not the most quote unquote powerful practitioner. No, that's some bullshit. And I've said this before, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it again. There is no person out there, no matter how experienced they claim to be, no matter how powerful they claim to be, their power, their intent is not more powerful for your situation. Okay? Let's say you got a court case coming up, and you really need this court case to win, or whatever the hell may be. You need to win. I'm an experienced practitioner like a motherfucker, but my intent ain't more powerful than yours for your situation, because you're the one who's directly affected for that situation. So I teach you, your number one enemy in this lane is your shadow self. Now, what is your shadow self? Auntie AWB, what's my shadow? Your shadow, let me break it down to you. Let me introduce you to your shadow self, baby. Your shadow self is all that negative self-talk that creep inside your head from past trauma. All those negative thoughts that creep inside your head that was put there either by you or by somebody else as you were a child. When we're growing up, we pick up shit. It could be a teacher. I've had teachers say some real fucked up shit to me. I've had parents. I've had aunties, uncles, cousins, ex-partners, whatever the case may be. All of that built up inside you has built a person, I'm going to give you guys an analogy because you know I like to teach with them. Like a little bitty person, or like if you're from the South, like I'm from the South. I remember one time I said to my daddy, and I know I'm all over the place, but I need y'all to hear me out because I really am going to drive this point home. I said, Daddy, whatever happened to Uncle Willie or blah, 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 blah. And I'm a little kid and my dad say, oh, he got that monkey on his back. If you from the South, you know exactly what that means. But for the people who are not from the South, I'm going to clarify. Picture a little bitty monkey living right here on your shoulder or on your back. They just chilling. They're close by your ear so that anything that the monkey got to say, he'll whisper it and you'll be able to hear it in your ear. But he'll say it real low so that nobody else can hear it. That's what they call that monkey on their back. And no matter how much you try to fight, it takes some work to get the monkey off your back because the monkey's slick. Y'all know monkeys got that good balance. They can claw, climb, crawl all over the place and whoop, too slow. They over here, they over there, they up there, they crawling up and down. But the monkey there, right? Shadow is that monkey. Picture that little monkey. Always got some negative shit to say. You want to get up and you want to go to the kitchen to eat a snack, something simple like a granola bar, a fucking cookie, or an ice cream Snicker, which is what I'm addicted to at this present moment. That monkey gonna whisper some negative shit in your ear, calling you different names like you fat bitch. You don't need that. That's why you're ugly. That's why you'll never amount to anything. You want to go to grad school? That monkey gonna say, that's why you'll never get in. You'll never finish. The monkey always got some negative ass shit to say. Negative. It's never nothing positive. It's never nothing. You about to do a spell? Maybe you need Saint Expedite to come through to make this money pop real quick because you got a car due, like a car repair or something. Whatever the case may be. Soon as you put your hands around that candle to put your intent, that monkey got some negative shit to say, how this shit's not going to pop and how you'll never amount to anything. How your spells, you're not a real practitioner. You don't even have no power. Go over there and pay that bitch $300 to do a Saint Expedite spell for you because you know you can't do it. That's the monkey. The monkey does not mean you anything good. And that monkey is shadow. That's your shadow self coming out, creeping out. It don't never mean you no good. There's nothing shadow can do for you positive that will help ascend you to the next level. So this is why I posted in the tea room a few days ago that if you book a consultation with me, I will not have a conversation with your shadow. Your shadow, my shadow, his shadow, her shadow, their shadow, they're my enemies. Do y'all know what an enemy is? An enemy, in AWB's definition, everybody got different definitions of what an enemy is. Some people think an expired friendship is an enemy. That's not an enemy. That's just somebody you just simply don't converse or associate with anymore. An ex-partner, you guys parted separate ways and you guys are cool, that ain't an enemy. Even the family members that you've dismissed because whatever, maybe they're low vibrational or maybe you just don't want to be around that energy, that's not an enemy. An enemy is a person that is set out, have a preconceived notion in their mind, in their heart, in their head to do you no good. They want to set out a plan and execute a plan to hurt you. That's an enemy. Shadow is your worst enemy. Shadow is somebody who don't give a damn about you. Shadow is the person who whispers inside the ear when you're at your lowest point to kill yourself. That's shadow. That's that monkey on your back. And the people who do succumb to suicide, listen to shadow to the point where they ended their life. Now shadow has won a victory. That ain't you. And if you're following me, and if you're following any of my admins in the tea room, you can hit any of them up in inbox. We are not the ones that will condone negative self-talk. We're not going to sit up here and tell you that what the negative shit you're hearing in your ear is valid. I'm not doing that shit. You book a consultation with me and I'll talk to you about shadow. You want to know about shadow? You want me to help you defeat and identify shadow? I got your back. I will not leave you. I'll be on that consultation for the time allowed to give you all the tools you need to fuck shadow up. But the second you put shadow on the phone and shadow is running the conversation, shadow's my enemy. So now I got to cuss shadow out. And now you're getting cussed out on a consultation with me because you're sitting up here allowing shadow to run the fucking show. Shadow don't run shit. And as a practitioner, that's going to be your biggest downfall if you're not doing shadow work to address your shadow self and put shadow in its proper fucking place. And a lot of people, and I've seen this before, especially on TikTok and YouTube, they're teaching people that you can defeat shadow in 6 months, 3 months by taking their class. Bullshit. I'm sorry. That's just not what I believe. Because as long as you are above ground, you're going to be dealing with shadow. Of course you can, okay, so you can minimize the effects of shadow in your life. You can conquer shadow. You can whoop shadow's ass, but shadow's going to always creep up little here and there. Your job is to maintain it, identify it, check it, and keep it pushing. Meaning this. And this shit happened to me. This shit happened to me. So you want to do something. You want to ascend to the next level. Spirit done told you that you got the inkling in your head that it's time for you to go and do this, that, and the third task. And shadow creeps in, you know you're not going to be able to do it, right? Now get this, spirit is telling you that this is what you need to do. It could be something as big as fucking buying 10 apartment buildings in your city, or it could be something as small as a Saint Expedite spell. That's one of the most basic spells you can do. And what does shadow say? You can't do it. Who's the enemy? Spirit is telling you what your next level is. That's your best friend. Just like with anything else in this life, there's a yin and a yang. There's ma'at. What does ma'at mean? It means balance. It means straight up balance, right? So with balance, just like shadow is your worst enemy, your best friend is your higher elevated self of self-love and spirit in your ancestors. That's your best friend. Shadow is your worst enemy. Shadow tells you all the negative shit and try to counteract what spirit is telling you to do. Okay? You were not brought into this realm. You were not brought back from the ancestor realm, because in African spirituality, we believe every baby is reincarnated to finish a task. That means that you were chosen by your parents, whatever their dynamic may be. It might be the best dynamic. It might be the worst dynamic. That part is irrelevant. But you're here for a purpose. And your purpose is not to suffer. It's not to be scammed. It's not to sit up and be apologetic for being on this planet. It's not to walk around here with your head down like you ain't shit. Because you are. You are the shit. You ain't shit. You are the shit. And you need to know it. And I can know it all damn it day long. And hell, 15 million other people can know it. But if you don't know it, none of that matters. So your worst enemy as a practitioner is your shadow self. And it's your job to creep in, whoop its ass, tame it, and keep it at a point where it does not affect you in your ascension higher in your elevated self and in spirit, okay? That's your answer to your homework assignment, your pop quiz rather, tea room. I'll be sending more. My admins are going to be sending more, but I need y'all to know that. I'm not finna converse with your shadow self. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I'm just not finna sit up and have a dialogue when you call me and tell me that you're ugly and you're a piece of shit and you ain't nothing and you expect for me to validate that? No fucking way. I'm not validating that bullshit because it's not true. I'm not doing it. And I'm not finna also sell you no fucking $300-400 pipe dream to fix it either. I'm not doing that either. I will refer you to therapy. I'm a firm believer in that shit. I love therapy. I shout out to all my mental health caseworkers, clinicians out there. I know your job ain't easy, especially if you're a practitioner. But what I'm not finna do is validate that bullshit. That trauma has spoke into you. You are not to give that any fucking validity. You're not to give that a voice. You're not to have that rent space in your head. And I know that that's easier said than done. I know it is. But what I'm here to tell you is that it can be conquered. You just got to put in the work. And it ain't easy work. And yes, you're going to cry. And yes, snot's going to pour out of your nose. And yes, you're going to be journaling. And you're going to date that journal. And you're going to write down your feelings, how you're feeling. And 6 months later, you're going to go back and read that shit and see how much you've grown. And a year later, you're going to go back and read that shit and see how much you've grown. And 2 years later, you're really going to go back and read that and be like, God damn, I've grown. And then you're going to congratulate yourself. And you're going to self-love on yourself. And if you have a big task at hand that spirit done gave you, and you're trying to work hard, it could be something as a degree program, whatever it may be. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Every little win you do, you fucking celebrate yourself. I don't give a fuck how big or how small it is. Okay? Let's say you have a task to, how do you bake a cake? One ingredient, stir it up. Another ingredient, stir it up. Another step, stir it up. Preheat your oven, blase, bake, bam, let it cool, cut, eat, enjoy. That's how it is with big tasks at hand. Spirit doesn't come in here Shadow doesn't get a chance, a voice, room, nothing to come in and fuck up your ascension in spirit. The only way shadow can do that is if you allow it. And I'm here to guide you so that you don't. Okay? You deserve better than that. And you need to know that. And you need to love you. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I was sent. I am the African Witch Bitch Hoodoo Practitioner. Okay? If you're in the market to purchase low-cost hoodoo supplies, hit up my website. Consultations, hit up my website. And if you are interested in learning more to be with your hoodoo cousins, hit up the tea room. All of that information is in the description box below of this video. Ashe.